You noble diggers, all stand up now.
Welcome, comrade. Never forget the forms.
Hello, my friends, and welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the UN Security Council vote on the Gaza security or peacekeeping force. I am going to get back to the other series I've left behind. I'm lazy, I'm not, and scared of capital, but we're going to get to it. Anyways, this security vote. Both China and Russia abstained from the vote, meaning that the security resolution passed and that the Americans will be able to send a peacekeeping force, a force to, I don't know, enforce the genocide and ethnic cleansing of Gaza. They're not going to stop the genocide, I'll tell you that. This was a serious and unforced error by the Chinese government, in my opinion. The tankies online are coping and seething, and it's because they can't conceive that they'd make a mistake, and their groupthink is very strong. But anyways, the argument that they give is that the Arab states asked China to let this go forward. Of course they did. They've helped participate in the genocide. What legitimate Arab authority is there? The UAE? The Gulf princes? Saudi kings and butcherers? Warlord presidents in Egypt? Actual warlords in Libya? The hell are we talking about? Their strongest example that they point to is the Palestinian Authority. But that's only strong on that list because the Palestinian Authority have been shown over and over again to be funded by the CIA and Israel as a way to stop real resistance from taking root by putting this illegitimate and weak and cowardly and treasonous government in, the Palestinian Authority. Hamas is the legitimate authority of Gaza. So no one asked. China did this for China. China did this because they need the oil imports to keep their industry running so that they can continue to have economic growth. Fair enough if you believe yourself to be the revolution, but the revolution is international. And to abandon your brothers over something so stupid, so insipid, that the Americans call a red line. There was a joke in the end of the Cold War that the Americans would always say, oh, another red line crossed of the Soviets. Make them press the button. They ain't pressing that button over this. They will not press the button until they are in the homeland. And I think that the Chinese were worried about the barbarism the US might descend to. I still believe that the Americans would win a conflict in the ocean, not a line of battle for ships, but they could win easily a jeune école, which means the young school, just sink shipping. It'd be really easy for an America-class light carrier to go sink ships in the Singapore Sea without anything that China could really do about it. And those ships are necessary for the Chinese economy. And on top of that, their relations with the oil-producing nations are necessary for the Chinese economy. And that's why they did this, because they're scared. There's another accusation I saw that says that Western leftists are expecting the Chinese to do everything. No, I'm expecting them to adapt to material conditions. They are a communist government woven with imperial power. You cannot separate socialist government, communist party. You can't separate the two, imperial power and the Communist Party. They inherited it. They can't do anything about it. They have to deal with the inheritance. And this was a poor way to deal with it. The Gaza genocide is the most incontrovertible proof, evidence, a smoking gun that the Americans are supremacist, triumphalist, chauvinists, fascists. What this does, which they did yesterday by abstaining from this vote, is they rubber stamped, the Presidium in China rubber stamped what just happened in Gaza. That means that's precedent now. They're going to call upon what just happened in the next conflict. Wars of aggression and genocide are back on the table. 80 years of precedent gone because of what just happened. This was a terrible loss. Thoughts are material. You have to garden them in the world. We were at a breaking point up until a couple days ago when this vote happened. The whole world saw America as the evil, as the font of evil. And now there is a rhetoric, an argument, a response that all men are evil and the Americans just run the evil world. That cannot be. The communists have to do better. Excellence must be the expectation. And yesterday was, or the day before, was floundering, pathetic, muling. Can't fall victim to the madman theory. Uh, it worked with Nixon because he might have actually been crazy and in control. But Trump's not in control. He presses that button, the nukes will not fly. They won't move. Thank you. Have a nice day. Hello, you've made it to the end of the video. Thank you. This channel has one mission: to prevent civilizational collapse associated with climate change, to prevent 100 million refugees by 2035, to stop 7 billion from starving to death by 2075. And we will do this through one main vehicle. We mean to unite the Anglosphere. We will do this by convincing the Commonwealth of His Majesty King Charles III to apply for statehood as one. And then with this new power, we will be able to negotiate in good faith with the rest of the world on how to tackle this crisis. Thank you and enjoy.